Hey nerds, welcome back to Collector Cave. Thank you for tuning in. Collector Cave is also associated with the collector side of real estate. I am a realtor by trade and a nerd by passion. So without further ado, as promised, is the Mezco 112 Collective Invincible Iron Man Model 42 Fall Exclusive Armor. And this by far is now my official favorite Mezco 112 scale figure. I have 38 figures in my collection. This figure is my favorite to date. Now, it was a close call for my original favorite, which was the Armored Batman from Batman vs. Superman. That was my favorite figure, and it was in a close second to the DKR Batman. DKR Batman in a close second to Armored Batman. But this figure has come out, and I am very excited to get not only the regular edition, but also the Stealth edition as well, given the fact that Iron Man has so many armor opportunities to make figures for, you know, I hope that they do more than just this particular armor. You know, so I'm going to try to keep this pretty quick if I possibly can, because there's so much to talk about as far as this figure goes. For one, we have the Mezco it's the exclusive box, and as you guys can see, I'm going to move the figure over here. So with the box, you have the gold foil on the box, which is great. It's a really beautiful box. As far as the exclusive boxes go, I'm going to just show you here. You can see the gold foil. This one is a little bit different. See, now most of the Mezco boxes I've come across so far are a little on the boring side. You know, they have some nice artwork to them once in a while, but as you can see just from the light shining on this box, you can see the nice matte black finish. You can see the gradiated Iron Man logo here. You've got the gold foil up there, and that carries through the side of the box. You see the gold foil Iron Man, and on the back is really nice box artwork here. Just very nicely done. I like that. I like the golden yellow hue that they've chosen to put on the artwork for the armor. And once again, we have the Iron Man logo and gold foil on the side. So it's a really beautiful box, and you know, just nicely done packaging. So now getting to the nitty gritty. This figure comes with quite a bit of stuff. For one thing, it has, unlike a lot of the other Mezco figures, it has instructions. So you have to read the instructions very carefully before you start messing with the figure, only because there are some delicate parts to them. So one thing that not a lot of people seem to know about as far as this Iron Man figure goes, that I find is probably the most unique feature. I will get to that in just 1 second. I just want to finish with the instruction sheet. But basically, you have the instructions for putting all the different parts on the rocket boosters, the blaster, the repulsor blast, the missile launcher. I keep bumping the camera, sorry. The missiles on the side of the hip there, the arc reactor, the little cover to the arc reactor comes off, and there's the blaster piece, how to put the batteries in. Now this comes with 3 batteries, I'm sorry, 2 batteries rather, and they are AG4/LR626 batteries. So you need 2 of those for Iron Man's arc reactor to light up, and otherwise it gives you the rest of the instructions, which are the faceplate removal and everything else. So it's nice that they give you a set of instructions to go along with the figure, because it's just nice to have the instructions. So now we get into the figure itself. Now, as you can see, this comes with a lot of stuff. Not only do we have a really nice base, where they're getting a lot better also with the appliques that they put on these bases. I really like this matte kind of vinyl coating, or whatever this coating is. You have the plastic, which is cast in yellow, as you can see, but then on top there's this really nice paint application for the arc reactor type logo that goes onto the base. So beautiful base, comes with your standard display stand peg that very simply you take the bottom end of this, and you see that little foot peg there, flip it upside down, pop it out, and you're all set with that. Very simple, standard stuff. Now, what's not standard are the accessories. Now, for one thing, I love the fact that they also went as far as to paint on the little circle repulsor blast area inside the hand. If you can kind of see that, it's hard to focus on, but you can see that there's this shiny red paint application on the inside of the repulsor hand. Also, what they have here with the repulsor hand, and there's 2 of these, there's a total of 3 sets of interchangeable hands. So you have 1, you have 2, and you have 3 on the figure. But what's nice about this particular hand is that the angle for the peg to insert into the wrist, the little socket is sort of angled up slightly to make it more Repulsor Blast like, so that the figure actually can do the full Repulsor Blast pose like that. So that's a really great feature. So then also we have the hip missiles here, which are really nicely done. I love when Mezco puts these types of figures, these blast figures, these blast accessories into the figures. You know, it really adds something. It makes it a little bit more realistic. It really gives you some dynamic posing potential. We've got missiles here that are attached at the wrist. Really nicely done, the little effects here with the rocket blast and the little metal missile here. Now here is the arc reactor blast. Here is a repulsor blast, and there are 2 of those, and we have 4 rocket booster blasts. Now you can put actually all 4 of them go on the feet, or you can put 2 on the hands and 2 on the feet, but there is a spot underneath on the feet for all 4 of these repulsor blasts to go. So there's 2 spots, and I'm not sure you can see that, but down here there's actually 2 spots, 1 and 2 on the bottom of the foot. Now, interestingly enough, and something a lot of people don't know, you're probably asking yourselves, how did I get the ground pound pose for Iron Man on this particular figure? Well, when I took it out of the box, I thought it was broken. I kind of freaked out, but the range of motion on this particular figure without this feature is very limited, and that's the only gripe that I have with the figure, is that the basic articulation on this figure on the legs are a little on the weak side. Now, I will tell you why I'm not bothered by it, because now when you have it in its normal positioning, that's as far up as the legs can go, which is a little, it's not great. Okay, that's about as much as it can do. That's about as much as it can do. So it's fine for when you have the rocket boosters in there and everything. It's fine for that. But what it's not fine for is, your more dynamic, action-based pose. It's not so great for that. Now, getting into the figure itself, before we talk about the leg feature. Now, this figure has a fantastic texture to it. It's just absolutely spectacular as far as how the figure feels, how it looks, and it's very hard. I'm going to try to turn on the light, see if you guys can see this. Okay. Let's see. No, it's not going to work, but let's try that. Sometimes that helps. All right, so if you guys can see, basically on the figure itself, there is this beautiful matte black texture. It's just absolutely stunning. The gold paint applications are just beautiful. But if you guys can see this, look at that dome for the arc reactor. It's just such a beautifully done piece. All the little extra details. Now it's got some really nice articulation as far as the torso goes, to bend it back slightly. It's got decent ab crunch, so it really is nice, especially when it's straight down. Now, obviously the arms are pretty self-explanatory. So we got up, full range of motion, goes full 360 degrees around, and shoulders go up at 90 degrees almost before they come to a stop, which is great. Nothing wrong with that. That's as high as they should go. Absolutely fine. Got the bicep swivel, got the double jointed elbow. We've got the wrist peg here to allow articulation for the wrist. Now, there's this gauntlet here on the wrist that kind of pivots. So what's nice is that based on your pose, you can adjust the angle of the missile. So when the missile fires, and this is the one of the missiles that can go right into the gauntlet area and fire, which is so nice. I mean, just look at that. That is beautiful. Sorry, I'm watching Lego Batman with my son. So anyway, it's just, that is an awesome movie, by the way. I can't wait for the Lego Movie 2. So you've seen the trailers for that. It looks fantastic. Batman's back in that, and I can't wait for them to make a Lego Batman Movie 2. Anyway, that was a side note. But so you have the missile effects that go on each gauntlet here, and they rotate around. So the gauntlet, if you can see that, let's just kind of bring it in here. I don't know if you guys can see it. but you see how it rotates. Now this is independent of the wrist. The wrist itself doesn't move. The forearm doesn't move. It's just this piece of gauntlet here that rotates around the wrist. That way you can get different poses and it's not going to look weird because you'll always have him pointing his wrist down and firing the missile, which is great. And the effect itself is just really nice. So that's that little part. Now, as far as the articulation, it's fine. Everything is all well and good on the articulation. It's what you would hope for, what you would expect from a Mezco 112 figure. Double jointed knees gives you really nice motion. And the ankles are actually very nice. The ankles, it's very hard to see, but they are on a ball and they're like kind of on a ball and socket joint. So you do get some ankle pivot, which is great. You do get a little bit of up and down, not a lot, but you do get a little bit. So it's not bad. They're getting better, it looks like. One thing that they're not so great on is their ankle pivot, because you know all the shoes, you know, banana feet, Batman versus Superman. I mean, it's a little goofy looking, but not the end of the world. You know, they're getting better. This particular figure here, the feet are very proportionate, which is something that kind of bothers me when I look at some of the other figures. I feel like some of the other guys have banana feet, but that's just me personally. Now this is on the arms here, just to go jump up to the arms, we got one other hand here. Now this is your normal hand that has a Repulsor Blast type of a paint application here, but it's really like, you can't fit the Repulsor Blast. It's really more for just the look of it. And then you have the head goes up this much, down a really nice amount, up really nice amount. Obviously you've got side to side, left and right. And then for the pièce de la résistance, you have Tony Stark. So gently dig your nail into the seam of the mask. Try not to scrape the paint. It is possible to scrape the paint, although it's a really excellent paint application, but it is, you know, you will cry if you do it. So you have to be really careful. But this is a very nice head sculpt of Tony Stark in here. Very, very, very nice head sculpt. Nice detail. Really just out of the park. I mean, really awesome. Love it. And one thing that's really beautiful is on the inside of the mask, if you guys can see this, which it's really difficult. I'm going to do it this way and see if you guys can get this. There's a little decal on the inside of the mask that gives you all these little like lines and stuff. That's like the digital screen for Tony Stark when he's looking through the Iron Man mask. Really magnificent attention to detail. That is something very unique that I have not yet seen on some of the other Iron Man figures, like Sentinel Armorized Iron Man, some of the other die-cast Iron Man figures. A lot of the other regular Iron Man figures usually don't have that. So that's a really awesome look, awesome feature. I love that they did that little attention to detail. Now, as far as the arc reactor goes, there's a part in the back here. You sort of get the seam with your nail, just pull it up and out. Be careful. There's a little tab here. If you guys can see that, it can break. So just be careful with that. You know, you don't want to manhandle this stuff. But you flip the switch and you put the cover right back on, and he is ready. Look at that. Look how bright that is. Now, if you guys can see this here, you look at my hand. You see how far back? See how the projection of that light goes? That's a really strong light. Very nice LED. Look at that. See? You can still see it when it's back here, which is really nice. If you guys can get a good look at that, but really great feature. Absolutely love the light up feature on this. See? It's just it's just such a great little detail. And just turn it off. I'm not going to leave it on. I don't want to kill the batteries. Okay, now for my favorite part of this figure. Now, as you can see, the leg articulation is very limited. Now, when I first pulled this out of the package, I thought it was broken, because what happened was I was playing around with the leg. I took it out of the package, and all of a sudden the leg got really loose. I was like, what the heck? And when I realized it, I felt a lot better. I called Mezco customer service to verify that this was something that I could in fact do with the figure and wasn't freaking out for nothing, and that I didn't actually break it. But the legs have this little extra pop out just kind of like on the Comic Cave Iron Man figures, you know, the die-cast, you know, it's something that they decided to do with this figure also, but it's just like, it's perfect because you pop it down a little bit and then you get a little bit more articulation. You get another probably 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch of movement upward, and you get a little bit more backward, and then you get the side to side that can do this. He can go out this far. And now don't be afraid, it gets a little loose, but don't be afraid. You pop it back in and it's nice and tight again. Now it can still go out this far when it's popped back in, but really what that feature is meant for is more dynamic posing, because as you can see, this is as far up as it can go when it's normal. When I pop the leg out ever so slightly and ever so gently, the articulation increases, the range of motion increases. So now it's got a thigh swivel up here as well, ball and socket joint here on the legs, and what's nice is like you can pivot around like this and get much better range of motion. Just twist the thigh a little bit up like that, and then the leg, you know, the shin here can twist more, and you get a little bit more range of motion. So it's great because, you know, then you can really get some of those more dynamic Iron Man poses. You know, you can really play around with and have fun with the figure and how it stands and whatever kind of position you might decide that you want to put it in. It's got to find a balance because he's really heavy. That's another thing that's such a beautiful thing about this particular piece, is the weight of this figure is absolutely amazing. It's just, I mean, I love it. Absolutely love it. I mean, it's just really gorgeous. You can kind of see also, you get to see on the back. Look at the detail on the back. See that matte black, it's just absolutely stunning. Also, another nice little touch and a little bit of a nod to some of the more classic Iron Man armors is that his sort of iron underpants thing going on here has those ridges on it. So that's a little bit of a nod to some of the more classic Iron Man designs. I don't know if you remember that one in particular. It's a little bit more probably in the, I'd say the 90s or the late 80s, that Iron Man that has like the ribs as the detailing. But it's just such a nice little attention, nice little tidbits, a nice little attention to detail. But absolutely love this figure. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic. I can't speak highly enough about it. You know, now this is the exclusive figure. Obviously, he's a beautiful, beautiful piece. But to be honest with you, you know, yes, you can try to get it, especially if you're a completionist. But I personally would say, don't be upset. Don't worry about it. Make sure you get your hands on the standard edition and the stealth version. So now I'm still under the impression that Entertainment Earth has the stealth version as well as the regular version still available for pre-order. I'll post the links in the description below, so you can check that out. But as far as, you know, popping off the hands and stuff, I mean, you know, I can do that. You want to just, you know, obviously as with most of these Mezco figures, you want to just be a little bit gentle with the hand and wrist pegs, as you probably know. But here is the Repulsor Blast hand, and here is a Repulsor Blast effect. Now, there we go. Bam. Look at that. Oh, look at that. Okay, and then here is the blast stabilizer effect. Now, if you wanted to do the stabilizer like that, you can. What's kind of cool is that the boots can fit 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So you have double rocket boosters, which is kind of cool. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Okay, so there's those effects. Now, On camera, I need to be a little careful. I'm going to try to get these gently pried off. These are on there pretty good, so I just want to take them off nice and easy on those little side discs there. These little things. It's like a little peg there that you then take this and you pop it right in, and you've got the missiles for that side disc. Okay. See, now that's what I was saying. I want to be careful because I don't want to break it. I will be very upset. And there is a right and wrong way to do it, of course. I believe it's this one for this side. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to force it and break it, so I will work on that after. Let's see. See, that's the only thing that's difficult because, you know, it's such a delicate thing. I don't want to force it, and I'm right now having a really hard time getting that to get on, and I might just have to do it this way. Let's see what happens. Probably not going to work. Watch, it works. I'm just the idiot. No, see, it's not going. I don't want to force it. Let me put this back on and see what it takes to push it back into place. Yeah, see, these pop right in. So I would say, you know, that's the only thing so far it's been difficult is getting these little guys on there, those little missiles. As far as the arc reactor, what you do is there's like a little bit of a space here, and the arc reactor cover of the light comes off, and then you take this and face it down, and you pop it right on, and he's got his arc reactor. Now I will switch the hands like so, and I'm going to turn the light on so you guys can see. What do we got here? There we go. Put this back, and boom. How sweet is that? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Ta-da. Now, wow. See, now I see what happens? I told you guys that it was going to be short. I lied. Not that I lied, but it's impossible to keep this particular review short, only because I am just crazy about this figure. I absolutely love it. It is just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful, and I cannot wait to add the regular edition and the stealth edition to my collection. So I will end it there. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe, like, share, etc., comment, pass it on, do whatever you got to do. You know, I really appreciate the support, and hope you guys enjoyed this review, and stay nerdy. All right, talk to you later, guys. Thanks a lot.